We are live. What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Fistful of Collars. We are live right here. We are in our temporary studio still. You can see the fish behind us, so we're still in our transitional phase, so bear with us just one more week, because hopefully next week we'll have the new studio. Can't wait to show it to you guys. It's going to be a lot of fun. But thanks for joining us. My name is Reed Connell. This is Chase Smith, Will Safford. We had to get together. We are down one person here.
I don't even know his name.
We were down one, but it's the three amigos. We had to come in. We had to talk about some jiu-jitsu. Couldn't let a week go by without talking about some jiu-jitsu. So here we are, Fistful of Collars, episode 15. Let's jump right in, guys. I think the big news of the week, probably, or one of the big news of the week, was that IBJJF updated their rule set, right? They updated their rule book. They came out with version 5 of their rule book, right?
Huge news, really. Definitely pretty rare, 5 revisions in 20 years at IBJJF, so that's pretty impressive. A little bit hard to work through. We definitely need to spend some time with the rules.
Spend a little bit more time, definitely.
Definitely some jargon there, but it got us thinking, what were some rules that we would like to see implemented if we had ultimate control over our own tournament? What do you guys want to bring back? Personally, I would like to bring back reaping, because nothing annoys me more when I have a partner training in the gi who reaps me, because it's very hard to deal with. It's a whole another set of techniques and combinations that you're not even able to use in competition. So you find yourself just sort of being frustrated. You can't even really work with it. However, it's extremely effective. It's a great thing to work on, and translates better to no-gi as well if you're playing by ADCC rule sets or something. So I'd love to just bring it back. Bring back the reaping.
But wouldn't reaping, so the idea is that it could hurt the knee, right?
That's the general idea.
Dangerous to the knee, but then wouldn't we also see more 50-50 type, like lockdown type jiu-jitsu?
Or maybe you see less of it. If reaping is allowed,
sure,
then it changes the 50-50 game a little bit, right?
But I feel like more people would be going there.
Maybe,
and
yeah.
You see more
we did see,
entanglements.
kind of apropos that I'm wearing this Royal shirt, because Royal does
allow
reaping.
That's right.
And there are a couple guys, I remember a couple guys, Elliot Hill comes to mind, a guy who kind of like really took advantage of the Royal reaping rule, because most guys, it doesn't really matter to most guys. Most guys still play their game, but there are some, it seems like, advantages that if you're good with reaping and you can navigate that rule, it can really be to your advantage.
I know it takes me out of my game, and when someone puts me in a reap, I'm like, oh man, it just makes you think a lot more. You don't have those instantaneous reactions, at least I don't. So.
Yeah, well, especially for no-gi tournaments, I definitely agree. Especially for no-gi
I think it was 2014. This was another controversial Keenan moment in Worlds. The guy he was going against pulled his foot across his hip, and then Keenan got the call for the reap.
Yeah.
And Keenan got DQ'd. So
I remember that.
That goes out the window for you.
We saw Jonathan Grayson get DQ'd at the Worlds
just this year
for reaping as well. I remember that one.
Anyway, but any other rules you guys want to see?
You brought up Keenan real quick, and that's something that I did want to know or talk about, and I hadn't really found out. But did the rule book change? Did it address Keenan in any way? Do you think did anything get addressed in what he was mad about? I know advantages, I think, was a key point.
There's definitely a lot of language on advantages, and things are changing. I haven't been able to dive into the rules, and there's a lot of changes, and they're somewhat ambiguous.
Yeah.
Plus, a lot of them relate back to other rules that you have to, it's all situational, right? So, you have to dig deep into the situation. But the one thing I will say about the IBJJF, I don't know if they came out with this due to respond to what happened at this year's Worlds, but they are trying to improve their rule set. And, in jiu-jitsu, we all know there's no perfect rule set. We all like our different
still
rule
working
sets.
on it.
We're still working on it. But, I have to tip my hat to them, because they're trying to perfect it. They're trying to get better. They're trying to make it more fair for people, more spectator-friendly, more competition-friendly. So, whatever happens, I think they're on the right track.
Yeah. For one rule set I would change, I would think I would make shorter rounds. I think that
was my rule.
Oh, I stole it. I know, I stole it. Shorter rounds. I don't think I agree with that. I think, I don't know, maybe not 6 for everybody, because sometimes the epic 10 minutes matches can be exciting. So I'd limit it to 8 minutes. I think black belts can go 8 minutes.
I think
that's good enough.
Fight to win's 8 minutes, right?
No, they go 10.
They go 10?
I think for title fights, black belt title fights, they can go 10, but most of them.
But that's one of the things I like about the UAE, is that there's 6-minute matches.
Yeah, and they're exciting.
And you can really see it. You feel it in the matches. Guys are really working hard to get that first score, because they know that if they get up primary, then they have that much more of a chance of winning. So it's exciting.
All right, I got one. The mother of all rules here. No more closeouts.
No more closeouts.
Okay.
I think a lot of people can get behind that one. I think definitely a lot of people can get behind that one. But let's move on real quick to another big story this week. Legend retired. We have had a couple legends retire these past couple weeks. Want to make sure we mention all of them. Most recently was Jeff Glover. I don't know, how do we remember Jeff Glover, guys?
I remember him as being one of my earliest sources of inspiration when I started training. I'm a smaller guy. He's my size, and he's this crazy guard. He's in ADCC. What was it, 2013, when he had that crazy match with Gio? It really kind of blew my mind that year, and just his toughness, his creativity, his donkey guard, all that stuff. He's so fun.
Yeah, I think Jeff is great. He's a different type of guy. He's a different type of fighter. I thought he brought a lot of entertainment, obviously, to the sport, but also his donkey guard, like you're saying. He was really known for kind of weird submissions and unorthodox positions, which I think helps innovate the sport. So yeah, I think Jeff was an awesome contribution. Is an awesome contribution to jiu-jitsu, and he'll be missed.
Yeah, definitely. Fight to win. We've seen him very recently. And Submission Underground, he had that crazy thriller of a fight with Chad Mendes.
That's right.
That was like one of the all-time favorite moments, I feel like, going to see a FloGrappling event. So definitely gonna miss Jeff. But you also had Bruno Malfacini.
That's right.
He ended up retiring.
10-time world champion.
I mean, you can't do it much better than Bruno Malfacini.
In his weight
did
class,
it.
he's not doubling up there with the absolute end weight. Getting 10
That's
titles.
just
10
basically
years in a row.
10 years in a row, winning rooster weight. That guy's, I mean, like I said, can't do it
Absolute
any better
legend.
than that.
But he's not retiring from competition. He's still fighting in MMA. I believe it's Brave MMA or something like that. And yeah, we can see how that goes. I'm very curious to see how his game.
Would love to see him versus Demetrius Johnson.
That's the match right
fight
there.
That's what an incredible fight that is. And then also the week previous to that, Andre Galvao, another legend of the sport. What can you say about Andre Galvao that hasn't already been said? But man, another legend to retire.
Does he even really feel real yet?
Well, he is going to come back hopefully for the ADCC Super Fight versus Felipe Pena. That is a great matchup. Obviously, Felipe's on fire, so that's a fun one that they're going to do next year at ADCC in somewhere. So.
I took an awesome picture of Andre at Worlds. He was directly sitting behind Chase and I in the bleachers, and he was eating like a Big Mac. And he was like, "Hey, check this out." He was enjoying himself.
He was loving it.
He didn't have to worry about cutting weight or.
There's no regret in his face in that moment. He was just having a good time.
But one thing I will say about Andre too, the way he's doing it, I've talked to him and he said, I'm done. Like he's not okay. I'm thinking about it. He's gonna come back. Like you said, he's got his ADCC fight that he's gonna do. But something we see a lot more so in MMA. But a lot of fighters, they say, okay, I'm gonna retire, or it's their time for them to retire, and they don't. They have this desire, one more go. And I still got it.
Man, I don't know if you guys watched the UFC last weekend. We saw Rashad Evans.
Rashad, yeah.
That is just
versus Submission Underground veteran there.
Anthony Smith.
Anthony Smith. Fought Submission Underground against
and then the week
David
before was
Mitchell. That's right.
Vitor Belfort. He got knocked out the same way he got knocked out before.
By Machida, that's right.
So it's hard to see your heroes go down like that. So I like how Andre's doing it, where it's like, no, he made a formal announcement, I'm done. So that's it.
Yeah, you never want to see someone go too long, right? And grappling, I think there's less of a inherent risk there. I mean, no one's getting knocked out usually, so.
A lot of times we see him, we can't stay away, right? I remember Romulo Bahal retired, and then
3 months later,
next week. So I mean, like you said, it's maybe not as critical.
But I like the idea of kind of a Legends super fight show. I think that'd be like Enzo Gracie fought on Metamorphosis against Sakuraba a long time ago. That was awesome. I'd love to see stuff like that because they still got it in the tank for one match, right? I think for
and jiu-jitsu is their passion, right? Jiu-jitsu is Andre's passion. I can imagine. And I'm sure he's going to be on the mats training every day with his team. I mean, Andre especially is doing such a good job with Atos, and they won their second team title, right? So he's got such a natural progression that he's moving into as the head coach, as the leader of Atos. So
one thing, like you were saying last week on the podcast, this one thing that you really liked at Worlds this year was the changing of the guard, and we're seeing a time where there's so much fresh blood, There's so many good competitors that some of these older competitors, it's like, man, your time has come and gone, and maybe it's time to hang it up because the youth is looking really, really good.
Yeah, they're looking sharp, right? Especially when you're looking at guys like Roberto Jimenez, who are going to be there next year, or those crazy, blue belt phenoms that are going to be there in 2 years.
I mean, that's how I feel going into the Masters division. It's time for me to move on to the Masters division and avoid these scary blue belts.
But anyway, we're still coming down from the World Championships, right? That was a crazy event. I think we're all still decompressing, but it's kind of a new chapter in the year. It's the Nogi season starts getting up. It seems like a lot of the guys who are training super hard these last 6 months, they're on their seminar tours and everything like that. I don't know if you guys want to talk about some seminars. Anybody have good seminar stories? Do you like seminars? Do you attend them or not?
I've only been to 2 seminars, I think, but the one that stands out was Leo Vieira in San Diego.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. It was at Studio 540 when they were doing their kind of free seminar series. I don't know, was that 2014, 2015, where they were doing almost a seminar a month. It might even be more than that. Check. But they brought in everyone, and the one that I really wanted to go to was Leo Vieira, and Checha was there, and that's when, to me, I had just got my blue belt, but Checha was this demigod of a man, and
He still is.
He still is now, but it's different because I cover him professionally. But it was cool to see Checha working through positions that were being taught in class. And I didn't even know who his training partner was, but I could see him making adjustments, and he was calling Leo over to say, "Hey, what about this?" And it just seemed like he was one of the students there. So that was kind of my fondest seminar.
Was it just like the proximity, the first time you've been in proximity of legends?
Yeah, he was right there working a move just like I was. And don't get me wrong, he was working it much better than I was. But it was still fun to see him interact with his coach and have questions and stuff like that. So
that's definitely one of my favorite parts. Is like, can you imagine that for a lot of these seminars, like you get to roll or to get to share the mats with Michael Jordan of the sport. Like, what other sport do you get to do that in? And especially seminars give you a good chance usually to do that. Usually these guys are down to roll with everybody, so that's really cool.
I used to go to seminars all the time as a white belt and blue belt. I was like seminar crazy. I probably did like 15 seminars. And it was just for that exact reason. Like, these guys were my idols. I wanted to share the mats with them. And the seminar was always a fun day. Everyone's in a good vibe, Plus you help, like, now there's more money in jiu-jitsu, but seminars are the livelihood of a lot of guys. This is how they make their money. So you're helping, contribute to the sport in that way. But the one thing I did notice was that when I was like seminar crazy, I was taking in so much information that I couldn't like put it into action. You have to be careful. At a certain time, I think many of us are guilty of this, where we might go down like a YouTube rabbit hole. We're just trying to find the latest techniques and all this stuff, but you have to just find one thing and then work for it. But to that point, there's definitely some things that I've taken from seminars over the years that I still use today in my game. So
sometimes you go to the right seminar and the guy teaches you the thing that you were looking for or something like that, and it just kind of fits perfectly into your game. But what I always like about going to seminars is, like, you can kind of learn technique a lot of places, I think, but always when guys like kind of sit down and talk afterwards, I like that aspect of it. I remember I went to a Kyle Terrace seminar, and I really enjoyed that because Kyle talked about, related his life experience through, you can learn a lot more than just technique through jiu-jitsu, we all know, obviously. So I like when they are able to relate a little bit of their experience to becoming a better person, or, how they found themselves. I like hearing those stories. So a lot of different things you can get from the seminar.
Yeah, and there's really different kinds of seminars too. You have world champions in their prime. You've got maybe people that have been coaches forever that maybe run big teams or something like that. You have legends. You have Gracie family members. So you really get a different kind of flavor of seminar depending on who you're meeting with.
Did you guys hear this like old story about Hickson used to black out the windows of his seminars?
Oh, sure.
Nobody could see his from the out. You couldn't buy a spectator ticket unless you were in the class. You couldn't see. No video cameras. It was super secret.
Yeah.
You guys hear that?
I mean, I'm aware of some of the legends, but it's hard because you can't see it. You know what I mean? You only hear about it.
Exactly. It's true.
Catch-22.
I also heard Keenan rolled with 100 guys one day at a seminar.
I believe it. I mean,
I feel like there's video of that.
There's plenty of video. I was on Keenan Online for a while.
It might have been 1,000 guys, actually.
1,000 guys. But he usually puts up a recording on Keenan Online of him training with guys. That's fun to see because it's not all the time, of course, but sometimes you'll see him working the techniques that he's taught in that class.
Yeah.
So you can see him working that lapel sweep or whatever it is, and That's one of my favorite things to watch. Actually, is a high level guy work his technique on lower level athletes, because you can just see them tweak the details, make the changes they need, maybe the adjustments in the secondary attacks that they have. Really watching someone train and work through a progression that they couldn't do against a high level athlete because they know the counters as well. So I like that seminars, actually seeing,
especially like right there on your mats, on the mats that are somewhere down the street, right?
And then you take that feedback and you try it against them. Okay, I saw what you did over there, so now it's my turn. I'm gonna give you a go, and they have some other answer. Right?
What a life, though, huh? Some of these like pro jiu-jitsu guys, when they get to that point, they can just travel the world doing seminars and just making money doing what you love, seeing the world, spreading.
Luckily, jiu-jitsu is in some pretty beautiful places. Luckily, they like to do jiu-jitsu in some pretty amazing places.
Well, I thought it was interesting, actually, that reminded me of when we were talking to Travis Stevens a little while ago, and he was saying that he didn't like that. Not that he didn't like it, he saw that the value in it, but he thought in order for jiu-jitsu to become more professional, guys have to stop making a living primarily like seminars, because that's taken away from hard training, from real training. They're going on vacation, they're hanging out in Switzerland, going to Singapore, and he's saying, look, that's not hard training anymore. It's a vacation tour.
I think the time we're in right now, the World Championship, which is the major competition for many guys out there, that's over. Their hard training is kind of done. This is like the month of June, July is kind of their off season, where I think everybody, maybe not Travis. Travis is a workhorse. Yeah. Everybody needs a break
right now. That's a great point. I mean, I know what I'd be doing. I would definitely be going to Singapore and hanging out. But I'm not a world champion. So,
what time is it? We got
102.
102. Okay, we got a little bit of time left. But what do we got coming up on the schedule though? Because the World Championship's over, so I feel like we can all kind of breathe a sigh of relief there. But we still got plenty of events to come.
Yeah, we
right?
mentioned that. I mean, it's not slowing down for everyone. So Fight to Win, of course, never really slows down. This is like the one weekend, this weekend, where there's no event.
Gotcha.
But the rest of the summer, there's 9 events going through August. They're going through all over the country, from west to east coast, Sacramento, back over to Boston, Baltimore, New Jersey, and Chicago. So always keep on the lookout for Fight to Win. We'll be bringing out previews each week ahead of the show. But some matches that jump out to me are Dustin Akbari versus Enrico Coco. That is next weekend.
That's a great one.
At Fight to Win Pro 77. Both those guys are really fun on the feet and on the ground. They have a lot of leg lock attacks. Super experienced. So I'm looking forward to that one. Bill Cooper's back on the card against Vitor Oliveira, who had a great showing at Worlds. So there's tons of fun Fight to Win stuff.
Bill Cooper's had a nasty toe hold.
That was
last week. Yeah, he popped the guy's foot. You got to stop immediately.
Yeah.
Bill Cooper, man, he came out vicious.
I'm loving Bill Cooper on the weekly Fight to Win. Like make Bill Cooper keep
that
him
Noah
around.
hot guy. He's a tough guy too.
Oh, yeah.
So man, that's a big win. I feel like so. Bill Cooper on a roll.
So not after, but kind of running concurrently alongside all the Fight to Wins. We've got a really cool event. First time on FloGrappling, BOA Super 8. It's an Australian event going down to Melbourne. It is the 4th edition of this event, and it's an 8-man ADCC rules bracket for 20,000 Australian dollars. AUD. So I'm hoping that's
Could be a
dollars.
lot. There could be a little.
But Craig Jones and DJ Jackson, we could see that one.
Exactly.
That one we can finally see there, so I'm excited to see that.
And Mike Perez and Craig Jones get to run it back. Great match from the side.
Gonna be watching out for the wrist locks,
So,
I'm sure.
We've also got James Brasco, a couple Australian athletes are on the card, an athlete from Switzerland.
Haven't seen James Brasco in a while. What's he been doing?
James Brasco, I think he's just coaching, living in Florida, doing his thing. But he's a veteran of the game, ADCC veteran, and definitely
Charles
really,
Negromonte.
really Charles Negromonte,
Whoa.
who beat up Craig Jones at Nogi Worlds. Now, there are no heel hooks at Nogi Worlds, and there will be at BOA Super 8.
You know who I'm excited to see? Taliesin Suarez.
That's right.
Little Meow. He's going to be on there too.
He is. He's in a super fight versus Mikhail Yahaya.
Yeah.
It is a gi match, though.
Oh, is it really?
It's a gi match.
Gotcha.
They just put it out this morning under IBJJF Rules.
Gotcha.
So we'll see a little bit more.
And he's a brown belt, right?
That guy Miguel,
Yeah, he's
he
a brown
trains
belt.
down at Absolute MMA with Craig Jones and Lachlan Giles.
Gotcha.
And we
So
saw him
he's
at
the
this
next
side.
gen.
He's
Australian.
really tough. So this would be a very good test for young Taliesin.
Who just got his brown belts after Worlds. So he's staying busy as well. Again, that is on June 23rd, which now that I'm thinking about it, for most of our viewers here in North America, that will probably be late on June 22nd. But a week after that, moving on, we have another major IBJJF event, and our very first time broadcasting it, a American Nationals.
Ooh,
That's
so it's a
going
big
down
one.
in Vegas on June 28th through the 30th, a 3-day event. There's no gi divisions as well, and kids divisions.
Vegas turning into like a hotbed of jiu-jitsu, I feel like,
out there
recently, right? Obviously, like Mikey Musumeshi's there, right? And Hanato is still there, I think. And
Felipe Andrew, I guess, must be there, right?
Felipe Andrew in Drysdale
Right,
are
with
there.
his team.
So kind of Vegas blowing up a little bit there, huh?
It is, and they've got 2 major events, within 8 weeks. But I like American Nationals, especially because it's a great time for athletes that did get promoted to test out their new rank.
Yeah, it's bigger than just an open, but it's smaller than
Right, there's less
hands
pressure. It's kind of just this weird event where people are still running that world's high, riding the world's high, and just trying to carry that momentum over. Right now, we've got a few people that have been promoted, testing out their belts. Maisa Bastos from GF she got her black belt. She's going to be making her black belt debut. We have a couple other women's athletes actually. Elizabeth Clay debuting as an adult purple belt. So that's pretty cool. We're going to also see some world's medalists like Adam Bradley, another purple belt who got bronze medal at Worlds.
Silver.
yep.
Or silver medals, excuse me. So, yeah, it's a great event, and it's still fairly early. We'll see registrations
Yeah, that
coming in.
event, I mean, it's close enough to SoCal that you always get,
Yeah.
the big names from Southern California, San Diego, and LA. So I'm sure that'll start packing out a little bit, but that's awesome to hear. That'll be a good one.
Yeah, it's looking like a fun event, and we'll definitely be bringing more updates and news as we draw closer to the date. And then we're going to jump a little bit because our calendar will be filled with fight to wins with cards that haven't been built out yet. But at the end of July, we're going to see the IBJJF's first Grand Slam of their season in Tokyo.
Restart the
You're
season.
going to Tokyo. How hyped are you for that?
I'm super hyped. Not even just to go to Tokyo, but for the start of the UAE season again. I really started investing myself into this last year, and it's the UAE does a really good job of building a season. Right, they go all around the world, so you see jiu-jitsu from all over the place. The fighters get paid for showing up to and competing and winning tournaments, and then they have this grand finale, the World Pro, at the end of the year, which is truly a world championship because you can only have, I believe, 2 people from each country representing the country in the final bracket.
Absolutely, and let's not forget about the all-important rankings race. So the UAE has a $25,000 cash prize to the first place black belt, and not all events are equal on the UAE calendar. The Grand Slams have like the highest ranking besides World Pro, and so you get the most ranking points for the first place medal. So if you want to get a jump on that rankings prize, you should probably go to Tokyo because someone else is.
Yeah, I really hope the jiu-jitsu community finally embraces this. We're finally starting seeing some competitive matchups there throughout the entire season, fighting for that grand prize. That would be really great.
Also shines light on some of those Japanese fighters, and these guys, I mean, most of them are in the lighter ranks at Worlds and stuff, but they've got some really, really good fighters coming out of Japan. So it's always a good opportunity to see those guys too.
Europeans too. Like a lot of times.
Australia as well is right
yeah.
there. So it's a great showing for some other locations besides Brazil and California, United States. It's not the only event we have though at the end of the summer. Some of the great event coming up is Kasai Pro 3.
Oh.
Kasai's back. Now we don't have a lot of details yet.
One of my favorite events of the year, every year.
Yep.
Kasai is amazing, and it's going to be their very first 170 pound event. There's no current
Tournament.
champion there.
Yep.
So we don't know who's in it yet, but they are running this weekend. They're running an open where the qualifying or the gold medal will qualify to compete in that pro event. So that's pretty cool. We don't know who's going to take place there,
But if we know anything about Kasai, it's that it's going to be an exciting tournament. They're going to stack it just like they did for the lightweight and the middleweight tournament. Those are both super, super exciting. I'm sure this one is going to be just as great.
I know they just they move locations too.
Yeah.
You and I went to the one in Brooklyn. That location is really
That's
cool.
awesome.
But they need more space.
They're doing it at the Hammerstein Ballroom
Hammerstone Ballroom, which is
in like Times Square, New York.
it's like a legendary place in downtown in the center of Manhattan.
Wow.
Yeah. So
I cannot wait for that. That's going to be incredible. That's going to be so much fun.
So that's August 18th, and then right after that we've got Masters Worlds.
Masters Worlds.
One of my favorite events of the year. It's not
Is that because
just
you're a
big.
master?
Are you guys going to compete? I mean, I can't compete, but are you guys going to?
Your day will come. Your day will
It's
come.
not that far out. He's got one more year. I'm thinking about it. I think I'm going to compete. But why I love this event isn't because it's not just it's not about necessarily star power. It's about everyone's coaches. You know, our coaches compete from Paragon. They go out there and do their thing usually, and everyone else's coach that might not compete throughout the rest of the year, they're gearing up right now. It's their world championship. They're training hard, putting in the rounds, and it's fun to be a part of that environment in your own academy, and then see the work done in Vegas.
Yeah, it's a huge tournament. It's always one of the funnest tournaments of the year. It's a week long in Vegas. Everybody goes out there, has a good time, and it's a super competitive tournament. Like you said,
competitive.
Like the black belt divisions, Master 1, Master 2, sometimes are like 30, 40 people deep. You know,
and you have names like Sully Ribeiro, Homolo's competed before, Shanji. I mean,
it's very competitive.
No slouches.
Yeah.
Vitor Oliveira, who's competed a few times at Masters World, beat JT Torres at Worlds this year.
Yeah.
I mean, these guys are good.
He's a Masters World Champion. Yeah,
so
for sure. That's a fun one. I look forward to that event every year for sure. It's a wild one. How's the training going for everybody? How you guys
I feel
doing?
great. I've been putting in 2-a-days this week.
2-a-days.
And I'm getting ready. So Masters 1 purple belts.
Oh shit!
Watch
I'm
out.
calling him
putting
out.
out the challenge.
I'm putting him on blast.
I'll be there. I'm not sure light feather or lightweight because I'm bulking right now. So
Let him sweat. Let him sweat.
I'm coming for the goal. Let's do it.
Matt, what about you, Will?
I'm on my post Worlds, hiatus right
Okay.
now. Although I was on a pre-Worlds hiatus, but no.
But you're thinking about jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, thinking about jiu-jitsu. I think
Marinating.
tonight I'm going to train.
Oh, hell yeah. Nice. All right, dudes. Well, I think that's probably about our cutoff time. Thanks, everybody, for watching episode 15 of Fistful of Collars. Reed, Chase, Will, signing off. In spirit, Howell, Teague as well. We'll see you guys next week. Thanks for watching.